Hey y'all, how's it going? I want to talk to you for a couple minutes about finding peace when you're anxious. You most likely have dealt with anxiety, or you know someone close to you who deals with anxiety. Friends of mine, family members, our church knows. Anxiety has been something I have wrestled with for years. And in particular, since we've been in the last few years planting this new church, I have had seasons where I was almost knocked out, almost debilitated by the anxiety that was plaguing me. And I could tell you the moment it happened. It was 2 weeks into our church planting journey, and it was not a full-on panic attack, but an attack of anxiety and that led to a season of anxiety that nearly knocked me out. And it was psychosomatic. It was also spiritual. And through engaging that and addressing that, I've come up with what I call the peace plan. And this is not the only thing for dealing with anxiety. It's not a magic bullet or a magic pill or like a magic incantation or formula, but it is something that has helped me as I've wrestled with anxiety. When those anxious thoughts assault your mind, when those things intrude into your thoughts, to follow the peace plan. And here's the first step. P is to pray. Now, I know that we think, oh, pray, yeah, that's the spiritual answer. Yeah, just, that seems cliche. But the reality is, when I'm talking about praying, I'm not talking about just asking God to fix the situation. And I'm not talking about praying for God to fix your emotions. What I'm talking about is sitting quietly in the moment with Jesus and saying, your will be done. You are Lord, and I want you to help me. Lord, please help me trust you. 2 Chronicles 20:12, I don't know what to do, but my eyes are on you. It's yours, Lord. Not as some sort of obsessive ritual, compulsive ritual, not as some sort of coping mechanism, but to truly sit in that moment with Jesus and give it all and just ask him to be with you. And often I've found if I do that, and I really do it, not in some sort of perfunctory way or just to kind of check the box, I've found that I don't even have to go through the rest of these steps. But sometimes I do. And the second step is E, evaluate. To look at your situation, to look at the scenario. And sometimes I know anxiety is non-specific, but oftentimes non-specific anxiety is rooted in a specific thing that you can name, that you can put and say, this is what I'm concerned about. Even if it's a more generic concern, there's more a generic sort of feeling of doom in a specific sort of context or area, to evaluate and say, what is the likelihood that this will happen? What is the likelihood that this is reality or will become reality? And in his beautiful book on this, on worry and anxiety, Ed Welch, the book is called Running Scared, says worriers are false prophets. That most likely the thing you're worried about is not going to happen. Just statistically, likely, the likelihood of it happening is very, very small. But if it does happen, you think, okay, if it is a little more likely, even just objectively, or if it's unlikely and it were to happen, you think, I'm a Christian who believes in a sovereign God. And so whatever happens must be superintended by him for my good and for his glory. So that even if the worst happens, you can trust him. Pray, evaluate, and act. Often anxiety turns us in on ourselves and makes us introspective and really self-centered. We're so wrapped into the things that are consuming us, or just this sense of unsettledness and fear, and sorrow and sadness, sometimes under the guise of caring for other people, but we become immobilized, and we don't do the things that we need to do. You got to just do the thing. What's the thing? The next thing. One time I was wrestling with some anxiety, and I called my mom and just told her, "Hey, Mom," and she's a prayer warrior. I'm feeling anxious, having a tough time. And she the first thing she said was, you need to make your bed. Have you made your bed? Make my bed. Do the things. Start with something, and then do the next thing, and the thing after that. Often, anxiety immobilizes us, and a way to emerge from the fog is to just keep going. The fourth thing, so pray, evaluate, act, is to care. And this is related to action, but with a specific understanding that God has put us in a sphere and network of relationships of people we're called to love. And what anxiety does is it turns us in on ourselves, sometimes with the sort of justification that you're actually worried about other people, but that worry for others becomes self-serving, so that in thinking you're worrying about someone, you're not actually caring for them and loving them. Is there something specific that someone you're called to love needs you for in this moment? Turn and look out of yourself and love and care for the people God has put in your world, in your sphere, in your network, in your family, in your church. Pray, evaluate, act, care, and then finally, ease up. Ease up. Stop thinking that the weight of the world rests on your shoulders. You are not the ultimate controller of your destiny. You are not the one who is ultimately in charge of making sure things go okay. Often anxiety is an issue of control, wanting to know with certainty that this will be okay. But the thing is, you're not God. It's not your job. You are genuinely responsible, but you are not ultimately responsible. So ease up. Pray, evaluate, act, care, and ease up. Follow the peace plan. This is not the only thing, but it is a helpful thing. If you need to talk to a mental health professional, I would encourage you to do that. I would encourage you to get other people involved. These things, you need other people, both from a medical perspective sometimes, and always from a community and family perspective. And so I encourage you in that. If you are dealing with anxiety, just know that I know what it's like. I would be happy to pray for you, and know that God is with you. Peace out. God bless.